But sometimes it's good to hear.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes you need that in your life at 9 a.m.
Yeah, once in a while.
The fuck?
Once in a while.
Speaking of bullying younger people, we could get right into it.
Okay.
Yasin Bey.
You mean Mos Def? Yeah.
Mos
You know
Def.
what I mean? Real
Miss
hip
Fat
hop.
Booty.
Yo, hey, let's not be disrespectful. Let's not be
It's an
disrespectful.
incredible song.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's not disrespectful.
I'm make sure as long as I got to check in with you because I don't know how you be feeling. You be hating.
No. Whoa.
Jose definitely.
Hating on what? Y'all
Black Star.
were just hating.
You know you will never listen to no Mos Def.
I feel like
Look,
you don't
man.
listen to any Mos Def.
Look, man, what do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about the music or what he said?
I want to talk about, well, they go hand in hand because I think Mos Def can say what he said because of the music and because of who he is.
Well, what did he say first?
So Mos Def gets on the Cutting Room Floor podcast, has a great conversation. I wish I knew the interviewer's name, but good content,
I liked
great
her.
page, whatever. She very educated.
Yeah,
it was
she
dope
was
that
a
like
good interview.
it was like a meeting of the minds. It wasn't like her just asking questions and him saying something, then her moving on. She could elaborate. But basically, the interviewer asks, "Is Drake hip hop?" And Mos gets in a little hate bag because he sighs, goes, "Why are you doing?" Should I play the clip?
Yeah, play the clip.
Play the
Let's do
clip.
Okay, y'all give a little background. Yeah.
I mean, he seemed like he didn't really want to get into it. You know what I mean? But he did. And I'll just let you play the clip. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it and try to paraphrase, but why are you doing this to me?
Drake is pop to me, in the sense like if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
I love his tone. I love his tone throughout the entire answer. It is so condescending. As a nigga who loves a good condescending tone,
Yeah.
that shit is hilarious.
You know what's even funnier about this now that I think about it, and we're gonna talk about this later, but Drake's music is Target music because Drew Walls fucking plays that shit. What, Virginia Beach?
Oh, there's a lot of Mos wasn't lying.
That's really funny.
He
Commercial music.
after they chuckle.
Or it's
Commercial music, yeah.
shopping with an edge in certain instances.
Gave him a little credit there.
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean,
It's
I get
commercial, entertaining, fun,
It's-
good,
it's-
formulaic music.
It's likable.
Likeable music, yeah.
It's likable.
But is it?
This is gonna be me when I'm older.
I'm gonna leave you alone. We're gonna move on.
So many products.
I like this.
So
part.
many SKUs.
So many SKUs. Look at all these SKUs. Oh, so many products.
So much merchandising. So
Oh, I
many
love this-
barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything. Everything's here. They have everything here. Oh, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing collapses?
We're gonna get to the
What
bottom.
happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire?
Chat.
Buying and selling. Where's the message that I
And he's not talking about. I don't think he's talking about Drake there.
Yeah, I think he's talking
Yeah.
about the U.S.
Yes, exactly.
can use?
Right.
You know, what's in it for your audience apart from like banging the pom-poms?
That part. That was my favorite
oops.
quote.
Consider that
The way that he ended
She
it.
don't need no more of that.
What's in it for your audience besides banging the pom?
I already knew what y'all would think about this clip.
I mean,
Y'all are some hip hop purists. I understand.
Well, I mean, I will say that I don't think he was wrong to say that it's pop because I agree. You know, Drake makes pop rap. You know, but I think he took it a little far when he brought Target into the mix to make that analogy. Then he came off as bitter and like he might be hating a little bit, like he might be a little resentful of how much success Drake has earned, whereas him, somebody that is probably a way better rapper, has like a fraction of that success. So I think the Target thing was too much, but I also want to see the whole thing because that part that's super viral is clipped like 4 times.
Yeah.
You know?
You really think it came off as bitter?
I mean, when he's talking about Target, that was a little far.
I don't think, because I don't even see Mos Def as someone who has ever even aspired. And I'll call it nigga Yassine, because this was a very Yassine type comment.
Definitely.
He doesn't seem like he ever even wanted that. Like, the nigga don't got on no chains. He don't be doing no shows. He's not even dropping music. He literally dead changed his name because he's like, I don't want this fame thing. Like, he's literally out
you're right.
in Paris performing other people's music.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think he should be like saying things like Target, because that's not who he is. He's not bitter at all. You know what I mean?
But
so I think he could have made this point a little bit more eloquently.
I think it was eloquent. This was very well spoken.
I mean, I don't think the part about Target was. Why did you have to say it was like Target?
Because that's the biggest shopping brand. Most basic shopping brand that has everything.
Yeah,
I think that was the perfect example of what Drake's music is. That's why, literally, like he said, the Drew Wall shit is in Target. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I think Mos was not trying to necessarily come at Drake as he was taking this as a moment to comment on the state of maybe popular hip-hop and music as a whole as it stands now. Do I think Mos Def has listened to Tuscan Leather or like any of Drake's deeper cuts where he's actually rapping? No. I think Mos Def, because he's probably not that tapped in, has probably heard One Dance, Controlla, God's Plan, and is basing his comments off something like that. You know what I mean? I don't think he's diving into Drake's deep cuts. But and if you take it from that perspective, I think that everything he's saying is valid. And even if you don't, I think Drake has gotten past the point of trying to be that kid on So Far Gone and that was fighting the Meek Mill allegations for ghostwriting, that was trying to prove I'm the best lyricist out here, I'm one of the best, you know? He's trying to appeal to more fans than Mos Def has probably ever tried to appeal to, and that's a different responsibility. But I think Mos brings it back, like you said, and like the real point that hits home is like, what are you giving your audience?
Mm-hmm.
What in 15, 20 years, what do they take away from your music?
Yeah.
When they go back and listen to this.
I wish he just would have led with that. I just think he should, like, that is obviously going viral, and most people are not watching beyond 15 seconds of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's clipped in such a way. And I haven't seen the whole thing. You know what I mean? But I just think he could have gotten to that part a little earlier. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I just feel like I didn't like it personally, and I feel like it's important to push back against comments like this, especially when they come from people we consider greats and like OGs and all that. Just because of this, like, if Drake isn't hip hop, then who is really? I mean, you're talking about somebody who at every single turn of his career, at every point, points back to historic hip hop figures, wears the clothes, references, samples, like different historic hip hop figures. You know what I'm saying? And I think somebody that's born of that and has become a greater superstar in maybe the pop space, like he's saying, still deserves the credit of being called a hip hop artist. I think obviously his biggest songs are more pop leaning, but they all stem from hip hop. And I think when you take that away from him, then especially in the new generation, who can really be considered hip hop? And what is that?
Yeah,
you know? That's really what the conversation is for me.
Hip hop
You're
is
so
rebellion.
right.
Hip hop is speaking up against the powers that be. I think that's what Mos is getting at. I think hip hop used to be the voice of the streets, and I don't think Drake represents that. And I think it's fair to call him out for that. I think Drake could go do whatever the fuck he wants because he's an individual, and you can't place these expectations on anyone. But when you ask someone who comes from this, has always kept that same energy, he's allowed to say, because I think it would have been different if he would have brought Drake up without the interviewer saying anything.
Yeah.
My whole perspective on this flips. But I think if he's never asked about Drake, I don't think Mos Def ever speaks on Drake.
Yeah, that's true.
At all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what he did speak on voluntarily was the situations going on in Palestine, the shit going on in Africa right now, the different places there. You know what I mean? All the genocide going across the world, all the problems in the world, right? And he's like, it's sickening. It's gross. Society is in a fucked up place. And then I think when you take that perspective and then you look at the biggest figures in this genre that used to speak for the underserved communities, he's like, well, are you even really doing what you're supposed to do, or are you just making slime you out?
But he didn't say that though. Like, I think you're speaking, like, I get what you're saying and I agree with you in that sense. Like, Drake isn't doing any of that, but I don't think that's what Mos Def said, and I don't think that's what he was implying.
I don't think that's what the
when he
clip
said
maybe
it was
articulated.
when he was talking about shopping music. Is there probably a larger point that was made that I haven't seen? Maybe, but I don't know. I'm basing it off that clip where he's talking about Drake's music is Target shopping music. That's that's offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And also, I think Drake is super important to hip hop because I think it's really important to have bridges into things of value. You know what I'm saying? Because if only hip hop was Mos Def, Black Star, MF Doom, that kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have never been exposed to it. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody grows up somewhere where they're hearing this stuff and this stuff is getting filtered into their headphones. You know what I mean? Like, I had to, like, definitely start with, like, Drake, which got me to, like, Kendrick hits, you know what I mean?
about
Which got
Kanye?
me into deeper. Yeah, same thing.
But I'm saying Kanye was kind of molding both.
Yeah,
and
he
was popular.
No, he was, but you need bridges because I needed Can't Tell Me Nothing and Stronger to get me to the deeper cuts. Kendrick, I needed big hits to get me to listen to Pimple Butterfly back to front. You know what I mean? People need to bridge like fans and audiences into this message. Because if you just keep yelling your message loudly, uncompromisingly, like it might not get heard. And it's more
Kanye
important that it
got
gets
on a
heard.
national stage and said, what George Bush or Bill Clinton doesn't care about black people?
Yeah, George W. Bush doesn't care about
Yeah,
black people.
like that's hip hop. You know what I mean? And Drake is my number one most listened to artist. You know what I mean? I think Drake is hip hop. I think Drake raps. I think Drake is necessary for the culture. 100%. I think that Drake needs to be called out by these type of people to push him further as he approaches his 40s.
That's fair enough.
You know
but
what I mean?
I would also like these types of people to co-sign what they feel like is true hip hop in 2024. And if there's more to the clip that I'm not seeing, then you can correct me if I'm wrong. But did he co-sign any of the new generation that is actually making the types of music and is actually pushing the message forward that he's talking about? We just had a whole example of like a hip hop moment, quote unquote, with Red Veil.
Mm-hmm.
Did he talk about Red Veil at all? Does he even know who that is? Like,
I don't know what
that's
he
part
does
of
and
his
doesn't
job.
do.
That's
I don't
part of
know.
his job.
But we don't
Is
know
that
what
part
he
of his
does.
job or not?
We don't know what he's doing on the side. He could hit Red Veil up in the DMs.
But I'm saying he's not in the interview talking good about Red Veil.
he wasn't asked about Red Veil. If Drake, that's why I say if Drake
So
wasn't
you have to be asked to co-sign the
in
new
an
generation?
interview about you,
Okay.
all you can do is answer the questions that are asked to you.
And I'm saying if you are trying to push the culture forward, you have to co-sign and you have to bring up the new generation, especially if you feel like they're doing the work that you are shaming someone else for not doing.
He did cause he probably cleared the fucking Miss Fat Booty sample for Jid.
And I also think it's like we're kind of just speculating because the interview's behind a paywall. None of us have seen the whole interview. He could have co-signed 5 artists, 10 artists in the new generation. That Drake clip could have been 20 minutes that got chopped up to the viral version that we're all seeing. It's all speculation. You know what I mean? To be at the end of the day.
It's I mean I
Clearing a sample is not a co-sign.
But I'm saying it's fucking with him. You know what I mean? That's probably a conversation. You're probably having private conversations with these people if you're getting shit off like that.
Private's not enough when you're bashing people in public.
He wasn't bashing him. This was not bashing. This was getting asked
Bro,
your
he
opinion on something.
Bashed Drake. What are you talking
This
about?
is not bashing.
Bro, if he said the same shit about you, you wouldn't be offended?
No. He didn't call Drake a bad person. He didn't call him a bad artist. He didn't say he does not. Bro, do you know how many niggas would be striving for Target hits? Do you know what being played in Target means? That's not offensive at all. I don't think
It is
like
offensive.
Bro, Drake.
Bro, but to
is-
say you're not hip, like if someone was like, yo, Miles, like what you're doing is not hip hop. Like you're not a part of our culture type shit. I'm not saying that would be said, but I'm saying if someone did say that, would you feel some type of way about that?
No. Why does it matter?
Because he is hip hop and
But
he's
one
built on
person-
hip hop and he's proud of hip hop and
one
that's
person-
more than just one person.
One
Most
person
Def,
does not define hip hop.
but Most Def probably has more to say about it than pretty much everyone.
And you
But
just,
what
if
about
we just
Ed?
called him or I didn't, but one of y'all just call him a better rapper than Drake.
yeah, he is.
And Mos Def is historic. Like that is, bro. He's hip hop,
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
Lil Wayne, I think we could all agree is a top 3 rapper of all time to 99% of people talking. And he literally signed Drake before he was even really, really going crazy. He has enough validity in hip hop and so many historic. He's a feature with fucking Jay-Z, multiple features.
But I think you can tell with Drake, his biggest insecurity is that he's never going to be fully accepted in the space.
You know why? Because his favorite rapper is fucking Fonte. Like, you know what I mean? Like these old, like, I think that these type of comments maybe bother Drake to his core because there's a lot of truth behind it. And that's fine. I don't know what keeps this nigga up at night. You know what I mean? I don't know what was really bothering him. But maybe people are I think people are so reactionary to this and want to say something about this because it's really true and it's from someone you can't debate. And it's fine if it's like with like I don't have these expectations of these people that I love to like be the biggest political figures or like, you know what I mean, be speaking out against all the shit that's going on in the world. I personally don't look to them for that information. I don't think they have to do that. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to knock you for that. But for someone else to say you have the biggest platform in the world, you should be taking more advantage of it. Even though you don't have to do it, they're not wrong for saying that. And they're allowed to say it. It doesn't mean that they're bashing you or that you're a terrible person because you have no obligation to be a role model or anything. But like they're entitled to their opinion and they're allowed to answer a question that was asked of them. But I don't think like it was like it didn't feel hate fueled. It just feel like these are my thoughts.
You know what's this is a completely different subject. You know what's not hip hop though? This JPEG Mafia rant, bro. This man whined and complained about Kanye not co-signing him, not doing music with him, and then took a picture with him in a neo-Nazi shirt. That is super whack. Especially because I saw that he had like a whole song where the artist on Ye's shirt he like dissed him in like 2014 or some shit like that.
Who, JPEG did?
Yeah, JPEG.
I mean,
that was really whack.
The title of one of his albums is like all my idols are, or all my heroes are cornballs.
Yep.
You know what I mean?